What information should I be including in my report?
It's reports. It's a wonderful question because yes, I think the reports are, as you know, Nicola, you have something of a soapbox issue for me. But I think they're a really important and often, if not underused, then misused tool. But I'm going to spare you your timer and boil it down to two things I think every report should contain. And reports can contain more things and perhaps should contain other things, but every report should contain your progress against your agreed baselines. So there should be some representation of what your agreed budget was and how you are performing against that budget. So going back to that earlier question around budgeting, what's your budget? How much of it have you spent so far? And where do you think you're going to land? That should be on every report. Your key milestones. So these are the dates that we agreed we would deliver things by. And those milestones, incidentally, shouldn't change week to week. I've seen reports where they chose different dates each week that they felt like reporting on. Interestingly, they were always green because they chose the dates that were doing best. But I've seen that happen. Choose agreed milestone dates and report against the same dates until you've delivered that top one, and then that one goes off and the next one comes in at the bottom. But report, what was the date I agreed I would deliver this by? What am I now forecasting this is going to come in at? And is that ahead or behind schedule? So progress against agreed baselines is one thing. And then risks and escalations. What are the things that might happen that people should worry about? And what are the things that I need you as the consumer of this report to do? I've specifically not said issues. You should record issues on a report, but if you've got an issue, don't wait until the next reporting cycle to talk about it. Reports should obviously act as a record of some of the issues, but actually, if you've got something on fire, don't go, well, it's on fire, I'll just put that in my report and they'll read that next Tuesday. Your issues and escalations should happen straight away, but your report should act as a record. I've putting on record that I am asking or have asked for your help to resolve this issue. So progress against baselines, things that people should be worrying about, the risks, and any escalation actions that you need done. And there's a load of other stuff you can include in a report, but I would argue that most of the other stuff you could include is just additional detail, additional information, which is perhaps of interest, but not necessarily what you need to be reporting on. You need to be saying, here's how the project's going, here's where I need help. And that is at its core what your report should contain and why it's so important. And you should share it with everybody far and wide so everybody knows exactly how your project's doing and exactly where you need help and support. So yes, that's my view on what you should be including in your reports.
That was quite succinct. I'm very impressed.
Succinct for me, I thought.
Just in general, but also on that subject. Do you think there's a danger that people don't share those reports far and wide if they're not glowing in green?
I think there's a danger that they don't share the reports far and wide, whether or not they're glowing in green. I think people see reporting as an administrative process that they just have to go through, rather than an exercise which adds value to their project and is a useful tool for the PM to get awareness of what's going on and get support and that sort of thing. So I've always been very much in favour of sharing reports as widely as possible and not just sending it into the PMO each Friday or whatever it is, or to your sponsor and no one else. And actually what's a big thing for me, I think is very important in terms of using it as a comms tool within your own team. So, you meet with your team, hopefully relatively regularly, but it's a great thing to include your team when you do circulate that report to your senior stakeholders or whoever it is. Let's say you send it to your sponsor, copy the team in. Let them see what you are saying to other people about the report. Let them have the opportunity to go, you've said we're not going to hit that deadline. I actually think we might, but we need to do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Or you've exaggerated that risk because, okay, we did have a talk about it, but I think that's got out of proportion. So it gives your team a chance to engage with you as well. And they're the people who will help you out on most issues as well, let's not forget. So I think as well as communicating outside the project, it's really important to use it as a comms tool within the project as well, so that everybody is aware of the messages that are going out, of what's being communicated, and has a bit of a right of reply.